What's up, everybody? Who remembers my Tesla target? Who remembers? I've only been saying it since July. I mean, what's up, Tesla? Boom! Got two big predictions. I tell you what, we are right there at the target zone, just a couple bucks away. I mean, what's up? What's up? Anyway, love it, love it. Can't tell. I like being right, especially when I make money on it. You know, you're like, JT, I didn't think you had a. Well, I did have a Tesla trade on, and put another one on yesterday. We'll share that one in a second and talk about the ASML trade real quick too. Throw those over here. So here you go. This was the ASML trade. Just to, hit the wrong button. Cool. Love it when I do that. And, pretty beautiful, beautiful. Not sure what I just did. Zoom, please. No, cool. Here's the TLSQ one. See, I put this on basically noon 30 yesterday, and 332.91, and got out this morning. Yeah, you can trade pre-market 36.55. Ka-chow. Beautiful. And that one, there it goes. There was this one from I got in December 12th or 11th, December 11th, excuse me. Can't even read the numbers. And out yesterday, 9:30, right at the open. Ka-ching. Actually filled me for $6.76 more than my order. So, beautiful dreamer, come back to me. So, anyway, the hoodie's right here. I just took it off, so you didn't know. So you could tell it's not the same stream every single day. Anyway, I got the hoodie. I just peeled it off. I'm actually cold already, so I may put it back on. Anyway, yeah. So, hey everybody. Hey, Alan, Goose, Infinity, Philip, Sergio. If you want to chat with me, like all the fine folks on the stream, everybody saying goodbye. Oh, not right. Not right. Click the link over here where the monster can is. Put it back in frame. Click the link. Be a subscriber on the channel. A few seconds later, you can chat with me, just like Arturo, Dex, Brian, Michael, Larry, Francois, Craig. Good morning, everybody. Alan, Maurizio, Donald, Aaron, Jason, Darren. There's Don, JB, David, Suckbear. Good morning, everybody. George, Terrence, Kimberly in the house. Laura, Chris, Merle, Kevin. Glad to have everybody. Harry, good morning, good morning. So, who got a piece of Tesla to the downside? I know Wrongemer bailed on some of his shares, and he plans to buy them back. I think Goose bailed on his shares, plans to buy them back. So, awesome stuff right there. We are. The question is, does it go any lower? I don't know. And doesn't have to. We can find a bottom. This is one thing you got to watch out. We don't have after hours data. I mean, look at we have a few shares trading here, but we don't have any kind of volume like we normally do when it's open. So watch out for that flush out once we get the market open. Or is it buy the dip? We're going to be buying the dip, or we're going to flush it on out. That's the big question. We'll find out the answer here in about 10 minutes-ish. 10 minutes-ish. So, there we go. I mean, and we could get a little reprieval and then, so. Yeah, just like we saw yesterday on our good old pal Netflix. We saw that spike and then pulling it back, now ramping it back up a little bit in the pre-market. But we tend to go a little overdone and then bring it back home a little bit. So that's the same kind of price action I think we might see here. We might see it bring it on down, possibly to 180, possibly 181. I don't know, somewhere there. I mean, I've only been seeing 180 since July. I mean, somewhere there, August maybe. I mean, Wrongemer could tell you. He's heard me say it 900,000 times probably, that I thought we were going down to this target zone. especially after we failed to break out like twice. So, and in case anyone hasn't been up on current events, we held this downtrend for a while into October. We popped up, kind of broke through it, but we held the longer term downtrend. And these highs, this high, held that one. Tilted the odds that we're going to see that 180 retrace. This has all been kind of corrective. That right there, that'd be pretty sweet to see, actually. Let me delete a couple of fib lines off of here. And if you go low right here to high right there, that's the 618 retrace. Right at 180. That could be a measured bounce. For those of you that taking that class, my fib class, and I gotta change this up to here now. Sets our potential upside as high as 425 right now. And this doesn't even look like it's in the log scale. Yeah, 585. That's more like it. There's that 500 number, Goose, I was talking to you about last night. 500. Entirely possible just on the next move. I mean, it'll do other things in between, but if we hold that 180-ish area right in there, much higher potential. So. All right. Glad to have everybody. So, any questions before we get started? I mean, pretty banging right there. I like being right, if you can't tell. I surprise myself that I'm right. Kind of comes in clusters. Sometimes it's like, come on, do something that I wanted to happen, and then boom, 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 get a whole bunch things happen at once. It's like, what do they say? Luck is when preparation meets planning, or something like that. Anyway, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. I may never get something right again. I get lucky often enough. Epic predictions. Epic. I mean, that was a long way down on Tesla. That was a long way up on Netflix. It's a long way up on ASML. Sometimes I get lucky, I guess. Craziness. Anyway, this presentation here is intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument. If you desire that personal financial advice, you got to hire and consult a financial advisor. And basically what I'm saying is, don't trade and don't buy stuff from gurus. Like, if you, it's kind of funny to me. People are like, man, this new thing, look at this hot new system, hot new robot, hot new whatever. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to find out all about it. I guarantee you, anything that's worth it, it's going to be open for a while. There's some things that are limited, like when I do a limited beta slots, usually I'm giving you a discount or something like that. But if you don't trust me, don't freaking buy it. All right. Don't buy stocks. Don't buy options. Don't buy Forex. Don't buy futures. Don't buy cryptos. Don't buy bonds. Don't long them. Don't short them. Don't trade this stuff. It's dangerous. You can lose money. All right. And I'm serious. The only person that cares, if you're like, I'm just going to hire somebody to manage my stuff. I mean, you're probably not watching this if they're in this case, but I hear a lot of people. I'm just gonna hire somebody, keep my money in a index fund. Let them take care of me. I guarantee you, their number one interest is taking your money and taking at least some of your money and making it their money. That's like number one. Number two is maybe helping you make money. Even the financial advisor right here. The only reason he's doing financial advisor, it's not out of the goodness of his heart. Or she, he or she. It's to make money for their family. I do this right here to make money for my family. I mean, I'm not bullcrapping about it. It does take members like you who trust me and go further to support me and feed my family so I can keep doing this and we can keep having a show. Now, big news coming up tomorrow. Well, we had some preliminary GDP coming in a little spicier than they were predicting. Predicting 2, got 3.3. That's kind of the rally in the pre-market that we're seeing in S&P 500 for the last hour or so. And tomorrow, Core PCE. Pal's favorite number right there. Personal consumer expenditures coming in before the market opens. So we'll talk about that tomorrow after we get the number. They're expecting a 0.2. Previous was a 0.1. And I wish they reported the year over year on here because that's, to me, that's more telling what the trend is. But they don't. So tough nuggets. Tough noogies, Ruben. Then we'll get pending home sales at 10 o'clock tomorrow. So there's the data. That's what's shaking, and that's the excuse today, is the GDP numbers right here. So core durable goods coming in at 0.6. Durable goods orders coming in 0, which is no bueno. It's kind of flat. So we'll see. We'll see. There you go. Mark saying, look, labor under correct knowledge. And then Mike Joyce saying preparation meets opportunity. So yeah, I mean, it's all, yeah. I don't know if it meets opportunity. It's kind of like I took the opportunity before and now it all kind of happened. I don't know. I prepared and took action, and now it's just enjoying the labor of, I guess, enjoying the fruit of the labor. I guess that's sorry, my mind is scattered today. I like being right. Like, I'm just kind of like hyped up on being right. I try not to be conceited, but sometimes, I mean, that's 3 in a row right there, back to back to back. Yeah, there's that one zoomed up a little bit. Got in at 710, out at, I mean, that was 100 and, golly, 30, 14, let's see, 45 days basically, 44 days. No, December had 31, so 45 days and 116 bucks. Not bad. Not bad at all. So that was a pretty good one. This one was just in yesterday, out today. That was basically 10%. Pretty close. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Yeah, camera says I couldn't be conceited. So I surprised myself. I just get hyped up on being surprised, I guess. Anyway, so it's Netflix right, ASML right, Tesla right. I hope somebody got a piece of some of those. So looks like Laura got a piece of Netflix. Tesla last night. I know Goose and Rongamer on it too. So Rongamer just saved himself. He was long shares, liquidated. Now he's looking to get back in. Hey, we got about 2 minutes and we'll find out what happens here. So S&P 500. Right up in the target zone. This makes me very nervous. Very, very nervous. For the rollover. Started rolling a little bit yesterday. I thought we might. Yeah, that was kind of like, I cautioned that since we hit the 1618, we may start pulling back. And this is, let's zoom down to a 30-minute chart here. This is what I was watching pre-market right here. This is delayed data. There's the market open. Heard it. Heard the bell. This is a potential measured bounce down if we hold this 618 level. So this is just 0.1, 0.2, right there. Simple as that. That was the high. You look there. That was the high. Pulled down, retraced. If we hold this zone, and really the resistance zones like this right now, we hold that zone. Something's slipping off the table here. I don't know what's going on. I guess I'm shaking the table. Anyway, hold that and down potentially. Now, how big a down? Well, we run this same first using the 3-point tool right here, 3-point tool. 0.1, 0.2, same as the resistance for going higher. 0.3, whatever high this makes. It's not locked in yet because we could still go higher. And if we bust through that 786 at this point, we're probably going on an extension run. But I digress. We've held the 30-minute down here. Held the 15-minute. So this is in play on the 15-minute and the roadmap extension. If we bounced off of that, up there, 49.45. So watching this for a roll down. We'll see what happens. See what happens. So S&P right there. Why don't you, it's like, JT, why don't you just chart it on the S&P? Because look, there's no overnight action. Like we switch down to the 15-minute chart, even there's no extended hours data. It's just a gap up. Like you're like, whoa. I mean, you can run it right there. It's got the same kind of pattern cooking right there, resistance. And if we go down, yeah, the big thing here is though, it doesn't have the roadmap line that close because, well, there's no overnight data to build that roadmap line. So we may flush it on down that 48.40 area. 48.50, 48.40. All right. I'll usually try to explain all that during the stream. If I lost some people, I'm sorry. Sorry if that got too technical for you. S5FI, look, didn't break back above 80. It retraced right back up to 80. We could see this flush on down. We don't typically hang out and then break back higher. Come on, TradingView. What the fudge? Anyway. Yeah. It's looking like we could see a bigger... Oh, look at that. The S5TW stocks, S&P 500 stocks above their 20-day, glancing off the roadmap line. Interesting. This doesn't tend to trend. I mean, it just keeps coming back to the middle, essentially. And interesting. I wouldn't read too much into that. This thing oscillates all over the place, and sometimes this one does do multiple breakouts, while S5FI, that stocks above your 50-day moving average, don't tend to, I mean, once they break out, they tend to roll down and go the other way, all the way back down to the other side. So that's why historically I've watched this one. I've seen the S5TW other places, but I just found it last week on TradingView, so sharing it with you a little bit. We've already talked about ES. NQ stopped almost dead at that 1618. Right back up to it this morning. We push on through, could be 18.2, possibly 18.6. You're like, well, how do I trade those kind of numbers? Just divide by 41 and roll over to QQQ, and that's basically the prices. We can see QQQ roughly the same kind of potential move here, and just haven't done any kind of pullback. Ridiculous. There you go, like 436, 442. Crazy numbers. Russell, this is your IWM right here. Just churning right under that resistance, right under that 618. We hold that. Down is the direction. Measured bounce type setup right here. Same thing I was talking about on ES. Just on a daily chart instead of... And then this move up, like talk about a bigger time frame. This move up, that can be 0.1. This can be 0.2. And if we hold the 618 there, then we could go higher again. So it's all about which move you're looking for. Right now, we're in this correction. Probably going to come down here. Then once we get down there, we could potentially go up if we hold the support. So how do I know? How do you stay ahead of the market? You got to do some work. All right. Got to do some work. That's kind of the way this works. So at this point, that's the first move down, retrace, and then we'd have the second move down. That tends to be the way corrections work. We kind of had this little baby situation where we retraced for like 2 days right in there. I don't know. That could be the end, potentially. But I feel a lot better if we went on down here. So, hey, Juckies. Michael, glad to have everybody. And oil, looky what she's doing. Now, this is just 3 moves up so far. This, I need to caution everybody really quickly. Right now, we've had 1 move up, a retrace, and we're working on this move up. If we stop at the roadmap line and turn back down, break below this, we're going on an extension lower. This is a key resistance right now. Key resistance. Now, if we pop up in here, possibly to 80.50, 50, possibly 83, 87. Do a retrace, hold support, and go again without overlapping this. Hold the roadmap line. We could be on for a big up. And we're talking all those targets I've talked about up there, even 150, possibly 200. That would be a crazy. And that's probably going to run for a while, run higher. And got my eye on this because this is like the beginnings. You know, we were talking about how do you find NVIDIA at 150, all right? This is like finding oil at 75 while it has potential to go to like 150, 200, 250, all right? Yeah, those are crazy numbers, but when we get up there and people are like, oh my gosh, you got to have, you would have been in way early here. Instead of chasing it when we break out, you know, we break out above the highs. If we're breaking out above 95 or breaking out above 130, and everybody's like, oh, oil's going to 1 million. And you're like, I'm looking for my exit up here at 150 or 170 or some of the crazier numbers. Comcast. That's an entry. Probably going to be an entry right there. 49.53 on the targets. Beautiful. If you're taking the little baby one, you're probably getting near targets. Gold, highly likely to come on down. Come on down. At least hit the roadmap line. If not, get the 618 retrace of that giant move up. That was a giant move up, and it was really fast compared to how long this has been consolidating. Not likely to be a final move because it only did 1, 2, 3 up. Retracing. I'd like to see it hold in here and go again. Bitcoin. It's kind of hanging in here. Hanging in above this consolidation over here. This is very interesting to me. And the news for Bitcoin is kind of settling down a little bit. So we're seeing Bitcoin news settling down. Maybe it just holds right there above that prior consolidation. You see how we had a lot of trouble breaking through there. We could just hold that. Could just hang out here till the roadmap line comes on up a little bit more. Or we just hold here and start moving higher. Or we could just crush it down. I mean, there's no has to do anything. So cool, Carson. I don't recognize your name either. So welcome to the stream, and awesome. Glad you took that put, and hopefully you made money. Hopefully, booking out some profit this morning. And if you're not a paid member, link is in the description. You can get this stuff all the time. But I talk about it for free on YouTube, but it's just a little piece of what I do. Ethereum, on the other hand, looks a bit more bearish. DXY hanging in right under the roadmap line. Yesterday, it took that move back and right into the consolidation there today. Interesting. We may push higher. May go test that 618 level up there on the upside for $1. Tesla, of course. Hashtag crushing it, baby. Ooh, getting close. Tag the top of the box. I have a alert at 185. Let's see if that kicks off. I don't really expect much below 180. I mean, let's be honest here. I don't really expect much below 180. Could it? Sure. You betcha. We could come on down to 150. We could even go back to the lows from back here. Unlikely, but we could do it. We could certainly do it. Probably crush some hopes and dreams if we do that, but it's possible. All right. I think 180 is probably going to be the spot. That's where I've been looking for a while. This was kind of bullish on this move up into this high, and then we've been very corrective on the way down. So if we hold in this zone, possibly, I think 180, but we could go as low as 150. Still hold that and still go higher. AVGO, getting the book profits if you got it. This is ridiculous. It's going to it's going to retrace. It's going to do one of these or one of these or one of these or one of these or one of, I mean, look, every time it goes, every time it does something crazy, consolidation for a good long while. Do you want to sit through this? You want to book your profit while we're still kind of ramping higher? ASML, still doing ridiculous things. Probably going to tag 900. I'm out. As you saw, book that share. I bought one. All right. Oh, I already closed it. Close the window. Genius. Let me pop it back up. There we go. Just in case you tuned in late, there was the ASML trade. Closed it yesterday, right at the open, while I was on the live stream. Nothing like making money while you're on the live stream. So there you go. And pop the chat back up. So welcome, Carson. Yeah, thanks for being a supporter. Appreciate it. I do appreciate everybody, each and every one of you. Whether you buy stuff or not, watch the ads. That helps. Honestly. And I thank everybody for watching the ads, because apparently some people have been watching ads, and some people are paying a lot of money to play ads on my channel. Now, right up, same situation. We may see this pullback. One of these pullbacks again. We're in ridiculous levels. We don't usually see a lot of these extensions, but we're seeing extensions on several of these high flyers. It's kind of funny that the list of stocks is almost the same every day lately. LRCX, I guess these are the favorites, the darlings of the moves right now. LRCX right up there. One of these levels is going to be it, and we're going to do one of these retraces. Although back here I drew this giant up arrow. Right there, probably somewhere around 960. I probably wouldn't expect a lot more than that. Yeah, IBM, whew, dang, that's a straight crazy move right there. Earnings move. I didn't play that one. I didn't expect that. I have to be honest. That was no pattern I would have traded. Nvidia, that's probably going to tag that level, if not the next one up at 680. But watch out. That one can come down very violently. If you don't believe me, look over here. Look at these moves. Look at these violent moves. Look, exponential move, pretty violent and nasty and nasty and nasty, and then kept going lower. Just when everybody thinks that Nvidia is going to save the world, we get a big correction. Not saying that we're there yet. We could go on higher. Once we do, you can play oil like a 900 ways. USO is a good one. UCO, that's my favorite. This was a trade that hadn't even hit yet. Right here, enter above 32. Looking for 34, 50, possibly 37, 39, 42 if we're super aggressive, or even 44, or super big picture 48. So there's targets all the way up through there. You can chase, trail that stop all the way up through there. And we're looking for an entry at like 32. 32 to 48. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good trade right there. If it hits. Got to have enough time. So shares are not a bad option. Get it? Shares not a bad option. Lame joke, right? Yeah, I mean, now the flip side here. Let's talk about it a second. There is an expense ratio for holding this. It's 1.4%. You pay that daily. It's 1.4 divided by 365. So that does come out of the price every single day. So that's eating against you. It's not really like theta, like an option, but it's theta, expense ratio theta, if you will. So ETFs do have cost. Now, something like USO, look down here, higher price, bigger potential move though. And also we have an expense ratio of 0.6. So that one may be a better one to hold if you're going to hold longer term. So if you play options on these things, not only are you fighting the expense ratio, you're also fighting the theta decay. That's why something like UCO and the options on it, you're like, oh my gosh, man, the theta like eats your butt. It's like, yeah, because you're paying the expense ratio and the theta decay on top of it. So it is ultra. That is leverage. Be careful with leverage. As I always say, leverage cuts both ways. And when you're piling theta on top of a higher expense ratio, it can really eat you. For whatever reason, I like this one. I play that one. And then, consequently, you could play this one with puts. Right there, the expense ratio lower, 0.95. If you think oil is going to go higher, this one is going to go down. This is a leverage short. So while USO, that you may get bigger bang for your buck right there on the downside. Lots of ways to play. And then that's just UCO, SCO, USO. That's just 3 out of you go Google oil ETFs, you probably come up with, I don't know, 20 maybe. So back to it. SOXX, that's ridiculous. Book profits if you traded it. SMCI, this sucker, there is no way this is going to keep going forever. I mean, look at those retraces. Pop, retrace, pop, retrace. Ridiculous. Real retrace. Even crazier. Oh, man, look at that volume, too. This is getting crazy levels to me. Be careful. ARGX. Pharmaceutical, biotech, pharma. I mean, sideways. Roadmap lines arcing down. We gap down below the box. I mean, just not much to say here. It was pre-market up, but nasty. AMD likely to top out somewhere here. Climbing the fib ladder. We've got 181, 197, 237, 262, 367. One of these is going to be it, and it's going exponential. Stuff doesn't go exponential. Like NVIDIA and AMD going exponential doesn't usually end the way everybody wants it to. They don't just keep going. MDB just keeps consolidating, starting to be less awesome the longer it keeps doing this. Has not been able to break this resistance over here. Where does that resistance come from? These highs right back here on the way down. Has not been able to get through those. Stuck here, stuck here. Is it winding up for the pitch? Maybe, but the longer this lags with the lower high, JT's money is not in MDB. CRWD, looks like that was going to ramp on up, probably, potentially. 355, possibly 426 on the big correction it did. It took all of 22. Snow, still working on the breakout. Finally tagged the 207. Did that yesterday, it looks like. And reject them back down. It wouldn't surprise me to do a correction right back down at this point. It's just chopping in that box. That's a major resistance right there. Getting out of that. It's trying to break through these highs right here. Same situation as MDB. A lot of trouble getting higher. UNP. Trade it if you want to. That's sideways choppy garbage. Not for me. SMH. Golly, ridiculous targets. 200 next target up. 225, 240, and then this junk over here left over from before the split. Let's see. That was the one of the target. Oh, that was the pullback target. Upside target was 4. Let's do a little math here. 414 roughly before the split. Split was 2 for 1, so 212. Yeah, it jives. So we could do this, right? Move up in here. Remove. I felt like something just went up my nose. That was weird. Anyway. NetEase. Hanging out the roadmap line. Coin flip. I don't. So right here, we're sitting at resistance. Yeah, 618 right there. Watch out. Yeah. Couldn't even sell SMH because there were no buyers. Yeah. EDU. Just consolidating. Now, if it breaks out, there's the next resistance. That zone comes from the prior highs up here. It's consolidation before we popped. And then found support on the way down, then dropped through it, retested it, and then ran away way down there. So if you picked up the pieces at down here at like $9, congratulations. If you may make it back to the 200 area. If we can get above this box, this consolidation zone, it tips the odds to go to 251. It's not my kind of play though. I don't like these big gaps in here, and it's just not this move isn't attractive to me. I go with the stuff I like. Tends to work for me. QCOM, probably going to tag that. And we had this what I call a watermelon seed squeeze. Typically, when we break out of the watermelon seed squeeze, we go. I should move this down just a shade. Tend to go the range of the beginning of the watermelon seed squeeze, which basically right there is what I put it on. And we could go as high as that range over there, just a little bit more. But be conservative, go with the smaller target. And that would be it. It's like when you squeeze a watermelon seed, hopefully everybody's done this, you pop, and you don't know if it's going, which way it's going. So you never know if these things are going to pop out to the top or pop out the bottom and go that distance. Looks like this one's popping out the top, and that target right up there around 170. AMT, man, look at that move, Goose. We talked about that. That's a real estate investment trust too. Real estate investment trusts don't typically move like tens and 20s and hundreds of dollars this fast. This thing has been moving compared to historical. I mean, look at this over here. Just chugging. And then look at this lately. I mean, and this is, to give you a perspective, I mean, this was 281 and this down here was at 153. For a real estate investment trust, I mean, that's 45% move. Down 127 points. And, I mean, it only pays 3.2%. I mean, people like to park a lot of money there, but I wouldn't touch this one. I wouldn't touch this one. I mean, it could wipe you out. Yeah. Like if you had a classic waiting, like that could wipe you out. Like one of those corrections. I mean, look at that. Look at the correction it just did. This is, be careful any newsletter or anything selling you on putting your money in this. I know most of you are traders. So think about the trade. That was 10%. You could have lost 10% of your capital right there. It's going to take you 3 years just holding the, if it just went sideways from here, it's going to take you 3 years to recover on the dividend. Now, could it ramp right back up? It darn well could. Are you trading it? Or are you investing for the dividend? And that's not a confirmation going higher till we're back above 211, possibly 225, 234. And, it's like I have something called double dip trades, and this was my pick of the month. Let's just compare briefly. All right. See how it's breaking up higher? Did a little pullback, consolidation. Now we're looking to break out more, and look at the dividend. 9.7% dividend yield. Has nothing to do with BlackRock. It just I mean, BlackRock manages it, but this was my pick of the month for a dividend play. We're looking for like this move up into this, 1575 potentially, 1550, 1575. Plus, you get a 10% dividend on top of that. So, like, even if this goes sideways and takes it out to here, you're getting a chunk of that every single month. It does paid monthly, 12 cents per share, 12.4 cents. I mean, that's pretty reasonable stuff. And if you put it in adjusted mode, look at that. If you adjust for the dividend, this sucker is making money. So, yeah, it could be a trade or it could be a hold. That's right, Goose. So, we're not looking for big moves, but, this is another portfolio that I'll hold. They just trade shares. There's no options that I would trade on this. I would never trade options. You got to get that dividend on top of the share appreciation. It's just another way to park some money. Hopefully that was a beneficial conversation for everybody. Let me know in the chat if you liked it or you want to talk more stuff like that in the future. TECL, that's a 3x pull right up to, look at this. Look at this. This freaked me out a little bit yesterday. Look at that. That's the 1618. Maybe like, well, you should just go buy SQQQ, right? This one can go down even with the market going down. It's back to expense ratio and the fact we're getting into low levels. So at this point, a drop that generates 20% only takes you back up to 14. Whereas TQQQ, it's ultra, leverage. If we got a 5% pullback, this is about opportunity cost. Like the 5% pullback, it could get us like 10%, maybe 20% on the downside. So you're going from 56 to 51, possibly back to the roadmap line even. I mean, that could be pretty good. So there you go. The adjusted mode adjusts for the dividends. Like if you read what that does, it adjusts the chart to take into consideration dividend payouts. So usually I keep the chart not in adjusted mode, but when we're talking about high dividend payers, you got to adjust it for the dividend to really get the picture of what's trending. Now, where that really comes into play, let's see, TSLY, like this one. People look at the dividend, you're like, holy fudge muffins, that's 89% dividend. But that dividend right now, combined with the share depreciation, the fact that Tesla's dropping, is eating that fund. All right, so chasing an 89% dividend, you're losing money. You're not coming out ahead. Now, compare that to something like QQQY. This is adjusted. Look at that baby. Even though on a non-adjusted basis, it keeps declining, right? You're like, oh my gosh, look at that chart. Like, why would anybody buy that? That's gnarly, right? But on a share an adjusted basis, adjusting for the dividend payout, and this one pays 60%, 62 cents, 93 cents, $1 a share. I mean, not bad, right? But on an adjusted basis, this one's climbing. That means the fund is growing even though they're paying out ridiculous amounts of dividend, 60%. All right. Another one. This is the adjusted basis for CONY, like yield max. This one's coming back down to reality a little bit. You look at it on here, it's been flat. If you were in from the beginning, you're up. If you got in up here, you're eating it pretty bad, even after the dividend. All right. Whole different conversation we usually do talk about. So IWM, just like the Russell, looks like we're going to do that move. TSM. 116 was the target and 125 above that. Simple as that. I didn't trade that one. LVS, Las Vegas Sands coming up into resistance. Can it break above? Doesn't look like it so far. Extension to the downside would be down here. If we get below this zone right in here. If we're able to break back above, well, that's a different conversation for a different day, I think. We're not proving we're breaking above yet. Get above that line is the first thing we got to do. Then we got to go get a higher high to confirm we're going up. This is not on JT's list of favorite things to try to chase down right now. PDD. Yeah. No, you don't have to buy anything. Like, that's just the dividend taken. Like, that's just like, the adjustment is just the dividend eating one share. Like, that's your shares. If you rolled, like, it just compounds the problem. If you drip the dividends, dividend reinvestment program, if you drip the dividends, it just compounds the problem, because then you took all your profits and rolled it back into the shares, and then those are going to lose money too. For one that's increasing, you're getting the benefit of the drip. For one that's decreasing, you're eating your own lunch. You're making it worse. So it's one you got to pay attention to if dividend investing is your kind of game, like if that's the thing you're going after. So chasing those high dividends, it's not a great idea. I just have a couple tester shares to see how it performs. Like, I do have the TSLY, and I have QQQY. QQQY is crushing it compared to TSLY. Anyway, VERA, Biotech, Humana, and it looks like the conversation is not very popular. So anyway, losing people off the stream, so I'll kind of start wrapping this up. Humana, downside target, next target down, about 330. UNH, oh, look at that. Somebody drew a big arrow right there that I thought it would go right there. This could be a measured bounce if, I'm going to set an alert here, alert here, alert here. This one is one I might chase if we're going to go bullish. Look at the potential here. 490, 500, and so the measured bounce, it's not just these targets. They go off this low to this high to this low. Now we're talking potentially up here to this level. That one's 618. That's a 3-point tool. Remove the other one for a second so you can see it. 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 for the 3-point tool. If this holds and turns higher and breaks above the roadmap line, potentially going up to 694. I may buy a share and when we break above 520, 530, and sit on it till we get up here. I may buy a few shares. I don't know. We'll see what happens when we get there. We'll see. So there's the potential on UNH. Humana doesn't have that kind of. That's not what Humana is doing. Humana is dying, for lack of a better term. This is turning into a dumpster fire. This is the beginnings of what could be a dumpster fire. So, when we talk about healthcare as a sector, you got to be careful, because Humana looking like it's sucking compared to UNH that already did this big sucking thing and looks like it's coming back out of it. Yeah. See, looks like we're going on down in a blaze of glory. Bounced off we didn't break above, so bounced off of that. Now the extension, right? This measured bounce, same situation I was just talking about for UNH, just this way. So the potential is down here. All the way down here. If we really got going. Now the traditional way to find extensions, high to low to high. So we may find support at right at 400, maybe down here right where this confluence is. In fact, I would probably put that target higher probability of actually going to here and finding support in that zone. Now, interestingly enough, let's talk about this one. So, whistleblower produced some documents that show that Boeing's own records show they delivered the plane without the bolts in the door. That's cool. Going on down, and they pull up to the hold short line, or maybe a turn around, maybe pulled up onto the end of the runway to get ready to go, and one of the wheels goes rolling down the middle of the runway on another Boeing plane. So they just can't get out of the news for crap happening to the planes. Is the news the story, or did the chart make the news? This is the mind bender here. I said we were going to pull back once we got to that level. Before we even got to that level, I said we were highly likely to pull back. And we just keep, we came up, retested the roadmap line from the bottom side, and we keep having bad news and just stupid stuff. And if we get down to this zone, though, all of a sudden it could be really, really good. Like, really good. We could be going from 150 to 600. That's like 4 times your money just on shares. So that's the power. I'm watching this one because I'm kind of interested in making 4 times the money just on shares. That's the kind of leverage I usually get with options. If I could do that with shares, that's a pretty sweet thing. So definitely watching this one for the potential. Cigna, another one that's just sucking it up here. Not a very bullish pattern. Stuck at the resistance. That one could break down just like Humana. Has earnings coming up. Kolb, Columbia Banking System. Ouch. CVS. Well, didn't do the bullish thing so far. Sitting right at the measured bounce potential. This one has the potential, like Humana, to go much higher. Sitting right at that 618 zone, right where I put the big circle, and we poked just below it there. That's the level I wanted to hold right there. Now, if we break it back above the roadmap line, at this point, back above 75, that's a buy, potentially, up here for 91 or even 107. CNC, choppy, overlapping. I don't like that. Don't like it at all. Potential to go up to 81, 83. XLY. Looks like coming down on Tesla news probably. Looks like the roadmap line would be where to go. And checking back in with Tesla. Coming on down. Coming on down. Watch for that to find support and bounce. And it may find support at that big black line. It comes from these lows back here. Years ago. Could find support right at that 182 level. 183. And S&P 500 for the day, the bias for the day. Remember, if I said anything you liked, found beneficial, helpful, give me a thumbs up. Interact with the video, share with a friend, be a subscriber, smash that like button, and bias for the day is topping still. Very concerned. There's not a lot of upside left in this move, in this potential. We are pushing up a little bit and maybe tipping the odds that we're going to push a little higher. Those upside targets, 49.13. I was talking about 49.20 for a couple days, and then 49.26. Watch out for a top. Watch out for a top. That's what I got to say. Watch out for a top. One day we're going to roll down very hard, which could be a later day. It may be the FOMC next week, coming up on Wednesday. we may cruise right on higher into the FOMC. May cruise right up in through the 31st, way over here. And then crush it. 2 p.m. next Wednesday. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll say most people left already. Thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll be in Discord if you want to come join.